Evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the Playbook's annual debate competition for the year 2021. I welcome all our 7 participants here. And before the participants were here, they've already been separated into teams, and the teams are now ready. Yes, can I get a thumbs up from everyone? I see our teams are ready. So before we begin with the speaking, I would like to bring forward some rules and regulations. And even before that, I have got to introduce myself. My name is Kuratul N. And I was born and raised in India. For my higher education, I went to Japan, but I've been a delegate representing India and Japan at various JASO alumni meets, as well as at the International Labor Offices in Geneva, Switzerland, and a couple of more offices associated to the United Nations. Well, I'm here because I've been into debating for ASISC nationals and as well as for Frank Anthony. Coming to the rules and regulations for today. I hope all of us are aware that we will have the common decorum because this is a formal platform. So no foul language, no personal comments, no hurtful statements regarding anyone's personal beliefs. Yes. And of course, the time constraints. So each of you are going to get 2 minutes, precisely 2 minutes to speak about your topic. So as soon as I announce your name, you will be speaking. I will give you 1.5 minutes, after which you will get a sign from me that you just have 30 seconds to conclude your speech. Okay? I hope that you can keep it short, crisp, precise, because if you overstep that time bracket, you might have some negative marking. All right? Moving on to the rebuttal round, each of you will be permitted to ask one question to a person who is from the opposite camp. So if you've spoken for the motion, you can ask a rebuttal question to somebody who has spoken against the motion, but is not from the same team. All right. We also have speakers here who will be speaking as a summary for the entire, for their team. Those speakers can take questions, can be asked questions both for and against the motion. All right. I hope I have covered all the basics as for now. And yes, I hope there are no more questions. If there are any, we'll be open to taking them. You can always shoot in a message through the direct chat, which we have. So starting for our very first speaker, the topic for today is humans should invest in technology and colonize other planets. Before I give my opinions or my views, we will listen to all of yours. And our very first speaker for today is going to be Gayattri from Team 1. She will be speaking for the motion. Please begin, Gayattri.
Neil Armstrong once said, "One small step for man, a giant leap for mankind." Don't you think it's time we take that step? That it is time we start to let go of the idea that the earth can go back to the way it was, because we all know it can't. How can we improve the earth when there is nothing left for us to improve? The climate is getting hotter and hotter, resulting in the melting of ice caps and the death of so many innocent animals. We humans have sucked natural resources from the earth, all of them. Our leaders and ancestors have left us nothing but a planet filled with pollution and poverty. If we don't resort to colonizing another planet, the whole of humanity will burn to the ground, all of its buildings and everything due to global warming or famine. Instead of trying to fix what has already been shattered to a million pieces, we should spend this precious time trying to building rockets and spaceships to look for another home for humanity. This doesn't happen in just a year or two. This is decades of preparation, but isn't it worth it? Remember, we're just 2 degrees away from the planet reaching extreme climates. Look, it took us all this time to make this earth into what it is today. And I'm afraid we don't have as much time to fix it. Don't you think we should take some steps already? To conclude, I really think that we should invest search for life and other habitable planets. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Gayatri. Very valid points. And of course, to quote the man who first stepped on another celestial body after Earth, Mr. Armstrong. Thank you so much for your insights. I think very well spoken, as I'm sure our audience agrees. So without further ado, thank you for your time, Gayatri. Thank you for your speech. Well done. Moving on to the first participant who will be speaking against the motion. And our second speaker for the evening is going to be Abeer from Team 2. Abeer?
Yes.
You may now begin.
Good evening. I'm Abeer, and I'll be speaking against the motion. I'd like to start by a quote by J. Richard Gott that the human race could survive for another 7.8 million years, but it is not likely to ever colonize other planets. There is no doubt that the human space exploration is dangerous at all levels. With more than 50 years of traveling from Earth to space, space flight's risk is similar to that of climbing Mount Everest. It would help if you kept in mind that planet Mars features an unforgiving environment, with minor accidents or mistakes being fatal or resulting in large failure and injury. This means that everything needs to work accordingly. Every system, along with its backup, needs to function without any failure, or the human life will be at risk. Since Mars has a different environment compared to the Earth, this will hurt our bodies. Mars features a lower level of gravity, which will make our bodies weaker. After an extended period, when we return to Earth, we will not be able to survive due to the higher gravitational force. In addition to that, because of the absence of the ozone layer, we will be exposed to plenty of radiation, which can result in radiation poisoning. Even though Mars's environment is hostile to microbial life, we should not rule out the fact that there can be a Martian microbe that might end up infecting those traveling to Mars. Therefore, the first journey to Mars will be difficult and the risk of fatality will be very high. There is no doubt that by colonizing the red planet, we will end up polluting its environment. So, humans living in space is pure science fiction. Humans have already made a mess of the Earth, and we should focus on cleaning it up instead of destroying another planet. Space is inhospitable to humans, and life in space, even if possible, would be miserable. Thank you.
Thank you, Abeer. Very, very insightful. And I must say it's quite hopeful that you think that even after colonization, we might have people coming back, maybe we will eventually restore the situation, which is going completely out of hand. Anyway, thank you, Kabir, for your speech, and thank you for your time. We are now going to move on to Team 3, and Paloma, who will be speaking for the motion, is our third speaker from Team 3. So, Paloma, I hand it over to you now. You may now begin.
Good evening, everyone. Today, I'll be speaking for the topic, and I would like to start with a quote. Once, Ray Bradbury said that we should go to the moon and prepare a base to fire a rocket so that we can colonize Mars and other planets so that we live forever. And he was right, because if we don't colonize planets, then Earth is not in a state where we can clean it and we can make it again a clean Earth. Because we have polluted Earth to such an extent that it has now become impossible for us humans to also clean it up. And with other projects as you see in our daily life and in other projects that have been done by NASA, ISRO and various research centers, teamwork and hard work have always got great results. And in the same way, if all the nations combine together and put their hard work and their effort into this project also, then we will also be able to reach other planets and colonize them. And with the fast developing technology, it won't be difficult to it won't be difficult to build sustainable environment like we have on Earth. Because with the rising technology, we are having AI, then we are having robotics. Right now, also we are on technology, but depending on technology. So in the past few decades, we have improved so much of technology that in the coming of billions of years, we are gonna develop it such extent that it won't be difficult for us to colonize other planets. And it is also important that we start cleaning up Earth, but it is not as important to colonize other planets because Earth has not a lot of time left. And and the last but not the least, I like to say that we have very less resources on Earth, and we're continuously still polluting the climate. So I would like to say that we should leave Earth and we should try finding other planets on which we can stay and continue mankind. Thank you.
Thank you, Paloma. I think very well said. But of course, I must say that not just about nations coming together. Yes, I would, if I were given a chance, I would definitely escape, not just because of the pollution problems, but because there's so much more to explore in the universe. But like you mentioned, and I also feel that nations, their commercial capacities, military, science and tech, of course, from so many countries, 197 total. So there's a lot of work to do and very valid points made. So thank you, Paloma, for that. Next, we
Okay, so there's some problem with the chair's network. So we'll move on to the we'll move on to the fourth speaker, team one against the motion. And I think that's Kushaan. Kushaan, your time starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kushaan Trivedi, and today I'm speaking against the motion. I would like to say that space programs and technologies would require a lot of investments, and instead of investing humongous amounts of money in exploring space, we should develop better technologies to make this Earth a better planet. Earth has many more land masses left for human habitation, which are not explored due to various reasons. For example, the extreme weathers of northern and southern parts of the earth, like Antarctica, where the success ratio of habitation is better than on other planets. It is better to invest there, which is more familiar to humans and is easily accessible. And also, there is a possibility that life exists in planets like Mars, which may be in microbial form as yet, and we disrupt that indigenous life or species of that planet. We have already disrupted Mother Earth with carbon footprints, destroying hills, mountains, lands, and deforestation. So, why destroy other planets too? One more thought on this is that rather than we disrupting them, chances are that we may affect the humans settled there in an adverse way. After all, we don't know how robust our immune system may be in resisting them. Just think of a scenario where there is a pandemic like situation among the humans settled on other planets without having any known cure for it. So I think considering these points, humans should not invest in technology to colonize other planets. Thank you.
Thank you, Kushaan. I'm sorry I couldn't introduce you right at the beginning. I got a technical glitch, but I think it's fine now. And thank you for your speech. I especially noted the part where you said we might have a pandemic and it's not necessary to just have one here. We might just have another one somewhere else. So thank you for that, Kushaan. We now move on to our next participant who will be speaking for the motion. And her name is Stuti. Stuti, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So I now hand it over to you and you may now begin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stuti, and I'll be speaking for the motion. Space colonization is the next logical step of space exploration and technological advancement, and is an avenue of human development and must be explored. The future is not unidimensional, and technological advancements will help us conserve our planet better. And a quote by Jeff Bezos: if we can colonize other planets in our solar system, it would give us the option to move these polluting industries to these mineral rich planets and leave Earth for residential purposes. Say if a planet killing event were to take place, like if a comet or an asteroid were to hit Earth, like we all know how the dinosaurs have died, our investments in space colonization might be the only plan B for the survival of the human race. Hence, our ability to invest in the technology of colonizing space colonization and other planets. Historians and scientists believe that civilization that turns away from expanding is more likely to stagnate and turn against itself. And solving problems on Earth and of space colonization are not just opposed and are might and can be the sides of the same coin. Hence, we should be investing in solving the problems of pollution here on Earth and invest in the technologies that can lead us to colonizing other planets like Mars. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Stuti. As far as I'm concerned, I would agree with like 60% of the things that you just said, because I think most people who like exploration would want to go for it. And without further ado, can we move on to our second last speaker for the evening? It's going to be from Team 3. Alankrit will be speaking against the motion. All right. So are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alankrit Srivastav, and today I'll be speaking against the motion. So, in the religious books, it is not written that we have to shift to another planet. Earth is our home, our life, our shelter. God is made for us so that we can just live there. So we should take care of it. And like we just take care of our home where we live in, we don't have to destroy it. Recently, we have heard on the news that on Mars, water has been found and we can live there. No, that's wrong. First, we have to see whether is it pure or impure. We can't just drink that water. And if we have to colonize to other planet, we just have to see whether there are facilities or not, like there are plants, there are foods, etc. And for some spaceship projects, lots of investment has been is made, and it is very expensive. And at first, all of them fail. That everyone know that everyone fail at the first time. So that money is wasted in that. So instead of using that money in this, we can just use that money for the standard of the living. And and on Mars, it is assumed that some microbes live there, and the rockets and spaceships which are sent there are sterilized. Due to that, human errors are caused, and due to that, microbes come to the Earth. They can cause severe diseases, and it can knock down the life of us. So to conclude, I would say that no need for colonizing the planet. We just have to take care of Earth by solving the problems like pollution, noise pollution, air pollution, etc. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your speech, Alankrit. I agree, bare necessities are the most important of them all. We definitely know that it does not have an atmosphere, right? Or does Mars have one? I don't think it has one, right?
It does not have.
Yeah, so I don't know how Medha, who is our final speaker for the evening, is going to summarize all this, because I've been making points as you guys speak, and I'm a little baffled at the moment. So let's see how Medha is going to do an amazing job at summarizing the whole thing. So off to you, Megha. You may now speak.
So good evening, everyone. I'm Medha Srivastav, and I'm going to be summarizing for and against this topic. So beginning with for, yes, I believe that humans should invest in technology for colonizing other planets, because on Earth the resources firstly are getting limited, and the human growth, the population is increasing a lot, and for our survival it is important that we are safe and we have a good and peaceful future. So I think that we should colonize to another planet. I have an example over here, like a scientist, NASA, many people, they have been targeting on Mars, which I think that is a good thing, which they have increased steps. They have, as they said, that they we found water and we found different things on Earth, I mean on Mars. So colonizing to another planet is a good thing. And also for since I told about the human growth, we need a substituent planet which can if any time in the future, if this earth if earth it gets destroyed or anything happens, then we must have Mars to or a planet where we can we can take our future and we can take our generation along. And I also believe that not only we have actually one more advantage if when we will colonize another planet, is that we will be able to explore more on space. Now, talking for against the topic, I think that yes, we have been given as a planet Earth, and we should take care of our Earth. If we want to invest technology, we should invest technology on making our Earth a better place, because this is what we are given, and this is what we should be taking care of. And whatever it is, we should take care of Earth. And yes, I also think that there's a disadvantage that if we go to a different planet, then we might destroy the undiscovered life on that planet, and we might ruin the future life and future generation of our human life. Thank you.
All right, Medha, thank you for your inputs. I see that you started with for and you ended with against, but tell me honestly, if you were given a choice, what do you prefer?
So if I was given a choice, I would go against this topic, because I'm thankful that we have been given Earth and we should take care of this. And I think that it is all that we should make Earth a better place. Why, if we can't focus on one planet, why are we going to a different planet?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like can't
it's
do one
not an easy
subject.
task.
How will you do 5 different subjects? I get that.
Yeah.
So, like I am one of your judges, and we have a few more spectators. And from among the spectators are your other 2 judges. All right. So I'm going to take a hot 2-minute gap to tabulate your scores. And of course, before I go, I will go there, and we will then start with the rebuttal round. 1 second. So, do you guys need a beat, like 10-second gap? No turning off cameras. Everyone's going to be here. So do your deep breathing, reassure yourselves. Okay. So, like I said in the beginning, each of you is going to get an opportunity to ask one question. Please do not ask a rebuttal question to people who are in your camp or in your team. Your camp is whether you spoke for your team, your camp for, or camp against. All right. Yes, good to go. So because Medha was our last speaker here, Medha can give us the first question. So Medha, who is your question for? First off, tell me who is your question for and what is your question? Medha, please tell us.
So 1 second.
So would you, because you spoke last, would you like to
Yeah, I will want 2
take
minutes.
a moment?
Yeah.
Okay, then shall we follow the same order? I think that's better. Okay, then we start with Gayatri. Are you ready? Yes, I can see you say yes. So, Gayatri, please ask us. First, tell me, who's your question for, Gayatri?
It's for Abeer.
It's for Abeer. Okay, Abeer's ready? Yes, Gayatri, shoot your shot.
See, you compared space colonization to Everest, but many people have conquered that monstrous mountain. So why do you think we can't conquer space travel?
Could you please repeat the question? I couldn't hear it clearly.
Well, I said that you compared space colonization to Everest, to climbing Everest, but many people have climbed it already and conquered the monstrous mountain. So why do you think we can't conquer space travel?
Well, I believe that the Earth and all our humans, we are just not advanced in technology yet. I've said that I'm comparing it to Mount Everest, but that's just a way of comparing it. Of course, it's not impossible, but I believe that the task at hand should be focusing on helping our own planet Earth.
Okay, thank you for your reply, Abeer. Kept it short, crisp, both Gayatri and Abeer. So others also follow the lead, keep the questions short and the answers crisp. All right, answers have to be under 30 seconds. So next off, Abeer's next. You can ask the question. Who is it for, Abeer?
Yes, my question is to Paloma.
Paloma, what's your question? Tell us.
So, Paloma, since you are for colonizing the planets, and since we know the space affects health, so do you think it's worth the effort to put human life at risk just to colonize the other planets?
If we stay on Earth, our health is still at risk because we are not sure that we can still make Earth clean. And with the developed technology, it is not important. It is very easy. It has now become very easy for us to colonize other planets because in the last few decades we have developed a lot of technology, and in the coming decades we will also develop a lot more.
All right. Thank you, Paloma, for the answer. Thank you, for Kabir, for the question. And I like how this is going because the first, you're constantly asking the next speaker your questions. I assume you were relieved after your speech and you paid special attention. All right. So Paloma will give us the next question. And Paloma, who is it for and what's your question?
I have a question for Kushaan.
Kushaan. Okay. Kushaan, are you ready? Yes. I cannot. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Yes, Paloma.
Yes. We cannot be sure that we can continue to protect our Earth from the pollution and the continuous changes in nature. So do you think so I asked you the question, do you think that we should stay on Earth as we are not able to protect the Earth from pollution and the continuous change in nature, and I believe that won't be possible in the future.
Yes, I would like to say that as in the answer, I would like to say that if we can explore other planets and if we can colonize over there, why can't we clean up the mess that we've made on the earth? That's my answer.
Very, very short and crisp. Thank you, Kushaan. Okay. So I just had Paloma ask Kushaan, and now Kushaan is the next speaker. Do you have more to say, Kushaan? Because, yes?
No, I would like to ask my question.
Your question, who is it for?
It's for Stuti.
Who is the next speaker? Good. So what's your question for Stuti?
Yes, I would like to ask, should we invade to other planets just because humans have disrupted the earth?
Stuti, what's your answer for us?
As a species, we do have to survive, and I don't think there's a chance of life on any other planet. As far as we know, Mars barely has an atmosphere, so it's more likely that microorganisms live there. And if we do take the time to research those microorganisms, I think we can colonize on Mars and probably have a society developing there in the later coming years.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Stuti, for your answer. Stuti, you're up next. So who do you want to ask a question and what is your question?
My question would be for Alankrit.
Okay, please ask.
And so I wanted to ask, why do you think it's important? Because I do agree that it is important to clean up the earth, but don't you think it is also important to invest in technology, because we can even develop technology to help clean the earth?
No, if it is wasted, the money which is wasted, for example, the space projects in which first time if we fail, then the money is wasted, right? So we cannot just invest only in technology. We can just invest in other things also, like for standard of the living for the poor ones, etc. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Alankrit. But you are now up. So, who is your question for, and what is your rebuttal question?
Actually, I had the same question like Gayattri, so my question is clear now.
Okay, and it's an optional round, so you don't absolutely have to ask a question. So that's fine. Can we have Medha? Do you have a question now?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is it for?
Ma'am, it's for Gayattri.
Please go ahead.
So she believes that humans should invest in technology and colonize other planets. But don't you think that it's going to be very difficult? Like there are millions and billions of people over here, and taking so many people to a different planet. Don't you think it is a very difficult task? And there can be lives that can be lost. There can be lots of problem caused.
I think, Medha, we lost you for a second over there, so I'll let you repeat your question again.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So my question was that there are so many people on Earth. There are millions and billions of people, and how is going to be possible for taking so many people to a different planet? Like it's going to be a very difficult task. It's not going to be an easy task, right? To take so many people. Some of the people may lose their lives. Some of the people may not handle the space gravity. So how do you believe that people should colonize to another planet?
All right. So, Gayatri, will you please answer this question for us?
Okay. We might fail on the first try and lives will be lost. But what about the second? What about the third try? What about the 20th try? Will we succeed? There's not a sure chance, yes, but there is hope. There is hope that we can, and yes, lives will be lost. What it won't be unwillingly. They're doing it for the greater good of humanity so that their children and their children's children can live a greater life than they were.
Okay, Gayatri, thank you for your answer. And with that, we come to the end of the rebuttal round. Didn't seem like, I don't know how many of you were nervous, but I was quite looking forward to this. You can completely breathe a sigh of relief. This is the end of your part. But the judges and me have some work to do. So I will be taking a hot 2 minutes with them once again. And I will be looking into who's going to be our winning team and also one best speaker. Until then, I will be on mute, and everyone, please relax a little bit and stay very much here. Okay. It didn't. Oh, sorry. I can't. Sorry. I see everyone is smiling. It's as if you know. just final tabulation. Who's nervous? Please raise your hand. We have a tie. For one of the awards, we have a tie. Okay. So first off, let me start by telling you about what everyone is going to get. So all of you are going to get presents, participation presents for having been here just today, because it was Christmas yesterday. So presents are due. So everyone's going to get that. And I will be announcing the winning team after I announce the best speakers. So that's where we have the tie. Okay. So we don't have one best speaker. We actually have two. Yes. And I will not delay this. So our two best speakers, we have a tie between Abeer Pundeer and Medha Srivastav. So congratulations, both of you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Thank you, both of you. You will be getting your gifts, your extra special gifts, because you're winners here. And the others, our winning team, I must say, I personally felt both the speakers very eloquent. Chris got all your points very right. It's team one, Gayattri and Kushaan. Okay. So with that, we come to the end of this whole live session. We do have, the general idea of having a debate is, of course, establishing your point and bringing forward your views. So all of you who were here, I must say, very, very valid points brought forward, especially by, I'll tell you when we meet backstage, especially by who. So thank you for being with us here today, kids. And most important question of all, did you have fun while doing it? That's most important. And I'm sure you've learned your little bit, and I will be meeting you very soon. So thank you so much for spending your time with us, and see you backstage. We can all